You are now tuning to That's Scary with your host, Melanie P. A podcast about everything from relationships to finances, sex, and what's going on in the culture. Every week, a different guest host, a different topic, raw, unfiltered. So sit back and relax. Melanie P. Talk to him.
With Melanie P.
That's Scary with Melanie P. Come on. Welcome. What episode is this, y'all? Every episode I mess up in the beginning with what episode. This is episode 18. We are here with a special guest. We're excited. The two words that I always say on every episode is excited and transparent.
I like those words.
Right. And I'm trying my best not to say it, but I feel like it's my signature word now. But we have a special guest, Keisha.
Yes.
Isn't it? I'm looking at her like, is her name Keisha? Keisha, is she on the show? Welcome to the show, girl. How are you feeling?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Girl, I'm so excited to have you on the show. So we start every show with a mental health check-in. So how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing.
Amazing?
Yes.
Oh, damn. I'm jealous. Why are you feeling amazing?
I'm just loving life, and I've gotten to a point where when things are good, I would always feel like, ooh, something bad about to happen. But now I'm like, I'm just going to sit in this.
Yes.
Because everything happens
right.
in ebbs and flows, and while I'm in this amazingness, I'm going to claim it,
own
it, and sit in it. So I'm doing amazing.
I might name this episode, I'm going to sit in this. I like that.
Yes.
I'm going to use that for 2023. I'm going to sit in it. Oh, okay. Well, girl, I can't say the same. This has been a very crazy week. Like, it's so funny you say that because every time I'm like, all week long, every time I've been like, this about to be a great day, something has happened like an hour later. Like, whether it's with work or my teenager or whatever, it's been a crazy week. Like, every single day, it's been something crazy happening. It's been something crazy happening. I was saying on the last episode, I have a word for this year, and my word is discipline. Do you have a word for this year? Or like a theme or any kind of like vibe that you're on?
I think mine is always go.
Go?
Yeah, I'm always, because I always, like, I have like these big ideas in my head and things, and speaking of sitting, like, I can just sit on them.
Yeah.
And I just tell myself, just go. Wow. Whether you fail, whether it blows up in your face, whether it ends up wonderful.
That's right.
Just go.
That is so good.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. And again, I'm transparent. So I asked her, I said, is there anything off topic or off limits, for the show? You know how you follow people on social media? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, I bet she is so cool in real life. Like, this is like my first time having somebody on the show that I never met in real life before, right. But I follow on social media, and I'm like, wow, like, first of all, she tall like me, which I love, you know what I'm saying? She dressed, I love it, good energy, good vibes. I'm gonna make a series out of this, like, people who I follow on, like, social media, but I don't know, in real life, and then I bring them on the show. That's so cool to me. I don't know, but tell me about you. So you're a wife, a mom. Who is Keisha?
That question is interesting because I'm so used to like doing panels or podcasts, and I would always introduce myself by my job title. And in this past few years, I'm like, I don't even care about work.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to live my life.
Right.
And so when I think about like describing myself without a title, like, I feel butt naked. I'm like,
really?
Like, what am I?
What am I? Oh my God.
I will say I am just living life. That's what I am. That's who I am. But I'm also a wife, mother, daughter, sister, friend.
Wow.
Student. I'm finishing my bachelor's degree.
Girl.
That's something I've been sitting on, starting going or whatever. So that go word, it's like, girl, just go and finish it. Just do it.
You have some energy, and I love that. Like, okay, so, I follow you on social media. So I know you always working out. I feel like you're in everything with the PTA, like with the school, with everything. Like, where does this energy come from?
I think I have been in such low places where I didn't do anything. I didn't move. Like, I felt like I was sitting on the sidelines for so long. now that I'm in a much better spot mentally, I'm like, let me pursue all of the things that I've wanted to pursue. Right. And I think when people think about like goals and things like that, you're thinking about businesses and I want to be a millionaire and all those things are fine. But for me, like I like bringing things from my mind to fruition, whether it's like a school dance and like, what does this look like? Yeah. And then in May, we're at the school dance that I was thinking about in January. Wow. So it's like creating things and being a part of things and getting other people excited. So whether that's being on a board or helping my husband with his business.
Now you said husband. How does that like? So I love when someone's newly married. Like I remember with my first husband. Like it felt so weird to say the word husband. Like, are you still like feeling like, oh my God, my husband? Or are you like, child, my husband? Like, are you over it?
No, I still like my husband, child. But yeah, sometimes like it seems surreal because like this is my second marriage as well. His is. But I was just like, I ain't even gonna lie, I was thirsty. I wanted to be married. Like people try to be cool, like if a husband come, whatever. I'm focused on my career, myself. I was focused on finding a husband. I wanted to be married.
Girl, where have you been? I love this conversation because one of the things, and I don't even remember how long ago this was, but I am really big on, manifesting. I was big into dating, like to be dating with intention. And I remember one time, this had to be a while ago. This shows like now I'm a lurker. I'm lurking on your page.
Girl, my page open. When people be like, girl, I'm like, girl, I posted it for people to see. I'm happy.
But that's so good because I remember you posted something about like your manifestations. And I think you might have showed like a notebook that you had from a long time ago. And then you were able to see like things you wanted. And then years later, you got those things. That resonated with me because anybody that know me know that I be writing stuff down and I'm manifest. So to see that you did that and then you got the things you wanted, like that is major. I know we're gonna get into manifesting a little bit more, but that was like, this is my vibe. Like this is my vibe. So I love that. So yeah, mentally, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, this year has been pretty good. This week has been trash. Like this week has literally been trash. Like even today, like I knew I had this podcast today, and then like my manager in my real job, like last minute put me on a meeting, and I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm rushing, and I like to be professional and I have people come on the show and have everything ready and perfect and everything like that. But stuff happens. So, it is what it is. But we have a little game. So I know that, listen, people who have been listening to the show know that I've been implementing some new games, some new icebreakers and stuff into the show. And I'll be fumbling sometimes. So listen, don't judge me. Okay? Do not judge me, right? So this game is the game that me and my friend kind of made up with bits and pieces of other games. So we have put a list of questions, okay, in a little list, basically. And I'm going to have you pick a number. Now, this could be anything random. I'm going to keep it clean as much as I can. But I'm going to have you pick a number, and then I'm going to ask you the question with that number. So pick a number 1 through 7.
1 through 7. See, my birthday is in January, the first month, so I'm going to go with number 1.
Okay, now this is a really interesting question. It's very G, so I'm sure it'll be good. Do you mix your eggs, bacon, and grits all together, or do you like them to be separate on your plate?
First of all, I don't eat grits.
What?
Ew. Like, no, I don't eat grits. So grits will never be on my plate.
So what do you eat in place of grits? Where are you from? Where are you from?
Michigan. My mom would make them, but in Michigan, grits are a breakfast food with butter and sugar. And then down here, it's a dinner food, and y'all be putting shrimp in it. But I just don't like grits. So grits will never touch my plate.
Why? So this is interesting. Why don't you like grits?
They look all grainy. They just look thin. I just don't. Maybe it's the texture.
Oh my God.
They're just ugly.
I have always been curious about people who don't like grits.
They just look like
I can't have eggs without grits.
Really?
So, okay, I'm lying. So I have eggs every morning, but like if I want to, because I'm trying to have protein to lose weight, stuff like that. But if I am eating to have a good breakfast, I have to have eggs and grits.
No, I eat eggs and spinach with like a sausage patty. That's breakfast. But
so if you want and your husband's a chef. So if you want a soul like filled meal, you don't want grits? Mm-mm. And then so your sole meal is like spinach.
Like for breakfast?
Yeah.
If I'm eating clean, I guess I don't have a sole meal. For breakfast, if I'm not, like French toast, eggs, bacon, like all of the meats. And
all the meats?
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
But grits, they just seem like so heavy. Like I gotta, my word is go. I have to be able to go.
Wow. Now grits are heavy.
Yeah.
And grits have no nutritional value, I'm quite certain. And I mean, I feel like, it's kind of like a slave thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I hate to say that, but like grits come from like the slave days, right? I don't know what grits are made of. Me either.
Yeah.
So it's not a grain, is it?
I don't think so. I think it's cornmeal.
Oh, that sounds... Don't tell me, because then I'm not going to want it no more. That sounds horrible. Cornmeal. That sounds horrible.
That's what it looked like. But yeah, I'm just not...
Grits. So does your husband eat grits?
Probably doesn't. He doesn't make them, but I'm sure he does. Yeah.
So your kids don't eat grits either?
They probably will, but I mean, we just don't happen to serve it. But they probably will outside of the house.
I don't know what I would do without grits.
Yeah.
And now I feel like, what am I eating? What even is grits?
Who knows?
Oh my God. So when I eat my grits, and see, this is so interesting because this is just me like not thinking outside the box. Because I didn't think nobody would not eat grits. It's like, oh my God. When I have my breakfast and when I want, now I don't eat grits now because I'm trying to lose weight. But like when I am like wanting that like soul down country breakfast, I have, grits, eggs, bacon, and I mix it all together in... Oh, look at your face! Now I feel so ashamed. Oh my God. Okay, so I take the grits, the eggs, and the bacon, and the toast. I do it so much to where people in restaurants be like, oh, wow, I gotta try that. Like, I mix it all together.
With toast and like make a sandwich?
No, like I take so on my plate I have grits, eggs, bacon. I take my bacon or whatever meat I got and I put it in little pieces. Mm-hmm. Look, you look so disgusting right now. Okay, and then I like put it in pieces and then I take my eggs and I just scramble. I put it all in one plop. So I mean, this is nasty, but imagine if you already chewed it and it was in and you spit it out.
So vomit.
No,
that's basically. Is that not vomit?
It looked like, I mean, it could, this is so nasty. It could look like vomit, but it's so good.
Do you put
with butter?
So that's what I'm gonna say. Do you put any condiments or anything on it?
I might put a little bit of salt, very small bit of salt, a lot of pepper, but I put butter in it and I mix it. I feel like, oh my God, try it. I mix it all together and it's just like one glob on your plate and then I will take, and this is the thing my mama hate, oh my God, because I do it in restaurants, but I like it. So like when I mix it all together, I will take my toast and put I put a little bit of that blob on my toast and then I eat it from the toast.
Like a nasty paste.
Basically, I mean, like it don't look good, but that's how I eat it.
We can go to lunch or dinner together, but not
breakfast. Listen, not. It's so funny you say that because I'm going to this like now. Don't get it twisted. I'm very classy. Okay, now I do this in restaurants. I'm not gonna lie, but I do it in a very feminine way. I cannot eat eggs separate, grits separate, bacon separate. I have to have it all mixed together.
So you don't like eggs for real then?
I'm obsessed with eggs. Like every morning for my breakfast, I cook 4 eggs because I really only eat like one big meal a day, and that's my breakfast. So I cook 4 eggs. I'll cook 2 slices of turkey bacon and then a slice of wheat toast, and that's what I eat. So there's no grits. But now that I think about it, I take my turkey bacon, I tear it. That's like a little kid. I tear it into little pieces, and then I take a piece of my toast and I put a little bit of my bacon, a little bit of my egg on the toast, and then I eat it. So I have to have stuff mixed together.
So no jelly or nothing?
No, because of sugar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just realizing that for breakfast, like my food has to be mixed. Like it has to be mixed. Even without my grits, I'm still making a little tiny like sandwich thing and just eating it.
See, I think I like to maybe appreciate
I appreciate my food, but I just have to have it mixed.
Yeah, I think I like my standalone items.
What does that say about us?
I know, right?
What does that say about me? Oh my God.
I guess you like what you like.
I want you to try it though, but you probably wouldn't.
No, I can do like bacon, eggs, and bread together. Like that's fine. That's a sandwich.
Yeah. But even though like, so I don't even put it like a sandwich. I have to tear. This sounds so low class. Oh my god, I have to tear everything into little pieces and then make little tiny sandwiches because I guess too. Because I'm only eating like one really main carb like that a day, I like to listen. This is the transparent. This is the transparent piece. So like, this is horrible. Because I'm trying to lose weight, because I just had a baby. Look, 5 months ago. I devour my breakfast, and I do it to where no one can see me. So me and my fiance both work from home, but I'm in one area, he's in another area. And when it's time, so I kind of intermittent fast. I don't really eat until 11. So when I eat that breakfast and I have my toast and my eggs and my turkey bacon, I literally turn into a monster and I like devour it because I love eggs. I love breakfast and I love eggs.
So are you a foodie?
This might make me look. This whole episode is gonna make me look so bad. Oh my god. So my first husband, if you're listening, we're cool. But I remember when I first dated him. That's when I realized that some people go to 5-star restaurants and order chicken nuggets or like chicken tenders. I'm not that girl, but I'm not like my fiance loves flavor and spices and peppers. That's not me. Like I will eat anything. I will try anything, but I don't like peppers in my food. I don't like really onions like that. I like it kind of bland. Everything I'm saying is like, oh, nice meeting you.
We just don't have the same food taste.
So you like peppers and onions and flavor? I mean, being married to a chef.
Yeah, I didn't before. I was the chicken finger person. Like
you were?
Yeah, anywhere. Like I've never been a foodie or like really cared about food. Like some people get excited, like, hey, I'm about to eat. Like I was just never excited about eating. I didn't start eating like soul food for real until like after I had my son in 2007.
Wow.
Like greens used to look like wet grass on a plate. Like
Are you a picky eater? You sound like a picky eater.
I used to be, but now I think Andre has like opened up my taste buds.
Palate. Okay.
But there are a lot of things that I don't like and he knows it, so he won't tell me that he cooked with it because if I know it's there, I won't eat it. But he's big into like, oh, I can taste the spice that hit the back of your tongue.
Oh my god! No, I don't want nothing in the back of my tongue.
Yeah,
at all. Listen, nothing. I don't. Yeah, I just started appreciating onions.
Oh, I love onions.
I hate, and like my friends would be like, "You don't eat onions." Like I hate. I will pick it out of my food, but now I'm starting to kind of like it because now he doing all the cooking. So I'm like. do whatever. As long as I ain't got to cook.
Right,
I'm fine.
My thing.
I'm fine. Like, as long as you're doing the cooking, then I am fine. So, that's so interesting. Oh, my gosh. Speaking of the devil. So, we have a little audience here. I was just telling her, for y'all who can't see, Jason has walked into the building. You cannot see him. But we were talking about flavor of food and, like, onions and peppers. And, I don't like flavor. Like I don't like onions and peppers and a bunch of extra stuff in my food, but you do.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not the one cooking. If I was cooking, I'm not chopping.
How blessed are we to not have to be the main cook in the house?
Right. I'm not the at all cook because Andre has taught the kids how to cook.
Really?
So they can cook for themselves, cook for me. Like I don't, and I'm not ashamed. I don't like cooking. It's not enjoyable.
I hate it.
If I never touch a stove or a pot again in my life, I'd be fine.
So did you cook to get him and then you just stopped?
Oh, absolutely.
You never cooked at all?
No. Andre know who I am and he know who I'm not. And what I'm not is a cook.
So what did y'all eat? So he cooked for y'all in the very beginning?
Mm-hmm. I think probably like our third house date. Like he made this like pasta for me with this homemade sauce. Like he literally enjoys cooking.
So do you ever make him a meal?
No, we talked about that a couple months ago. He was like, do you know, like, you've never cooked for me? Like, I've never had a meal made by you. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it one day, child. But I'm probably not.
Wow. So you hate cooking.
It's just
not your
something
vibe.
I enjoy
Wow.
at all. Yeah.
Huh.
Never have.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's a blessing. Like the fact that Jason does the majority of the cooking, like the big meals, like it's a blessing. Like I realized I really don't like to cook, and I think I cooked so much in the beginning because we were dating, and I wanted to be like the woman of cooking the food. But I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to be cooking no food, so I'm happy about that. So listen. I saw something on another podcast and I wanted to get your opinion on it. So I was listening to a podcast and we all know Chad Ochocinco, and he was saying that his current wife, so not Evelyn Lozada, but his current wife, when they had their first date, he took her to McDonald's. And you know he's rich, he got money, whatever. So how, would you, if your now husband took you to McDonald's on your first date, would you give him a second date?
McDonald's per se?
Yeah. Or a fast food restaurant. We'll say that.
Possibly. Like I guess our first date was kind of similar. We went to a place here called Haberdash, how do you say it?
Okay. That's not McDonald's.
Yeah. No. But no, it was a conversation. So we were there. So it's like, mid-range, I don't know, $20, $25 or whatever. Yeah. But as we were eating, we were just talking, getting to know each other. This is our first date or whatever. And he was like, listen, I'm working on some goals. Like I'm trying to, I'm saving up for some things. I'm looking to buy a house or whatever. He was like, so if you use the expensive dates and gifts and going out and that type of thing, like I'm not able to provide that right now.
Really? He said that?
Yeah, he was like, and I just want to let you know, he was like, I really like you, I'm digging you. He was like, but I just want to set realistic expectations. These are my larger goals. Like while I enjoy you, I have goals, and I understand if that's not what you're looking for right now. If you want to get flued out and all of that or whatever, like I'm not the man for you right now.
And what did you say?
No, I appreciated it and respected it, because a lot of times, like it's easy on December 31st when you coming up with your goals for the year, you're not distracted or whatever. But as soon as life starts happening and you dating somebody, or Beyonce tickets go on sale, all of a sudden all your financial goals and everything is out the window. Yeah, and then it's December 31st of the next year. So the fact that like he explicitly said his goals, and a lot of guys, I feel like, especially like if you meet online, like we met on a dating site and you follow me on Instagram, you see a certain perception of a person and you might think like, oh, she fancy, she requires a lot of money. And so guys, or women do it as well, will try to rise to the occasion of that person, and over time they're not able to keep up with it. Wow. And it's just like, wait a minute, we was on a private jet for the first date, but now you done ran out of money. Right. What's up? You done ran out, you dry. Yeah. So he kept it real and set the expectation, and I just really admired your word, transparency. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't want to waste my time, because I'm always saying, my kids always quote me, I'm like, you're not gonna play in my face. Oh my God. He didn't play, and he like, as much as I enjoy you, I'm okay with letting you go if you need more. So tell me the truth.
When he said that, and tell me the truth for the single women out there, did anything in you be like,
I'm very ambitious and goal oriented, and I'm okay. I always say I'm okay with getting down to come up. So there are times in my life where, literally I could afford something, but I'm like, no, there's something bigger that I want. And I have not met or dated a lot of men who were like that, because men are always expected to be the providers and always have it or whatever. But I'm like, they're human just like us. If you got goals, if I got to sit down, how come he can't be in a place where he's sitting down? So I respected it, because I was like, he's ambitious and he sees something bigger than today.
The bigger picture.
And if we're going to be together, like, we have to both be going towards something that's bigger. And look at y'all now. Yeah, the fact that he didn't let me, all of this distract him from his goals. I was like, respect, and I appreciate you giving me the choice than flipping on me.
Right. That's a tip. I know that's a question down later, but that's a tip for single women, because I feel like a lot of single women would hear that and be like, and that's a major key right there. That's a major, major key, because look at where you guys are now. You know what I'm saying? Homeowners, like, established with businesses growing. But if you would have been like, oh, hold up, you ain't got no money, and left, you know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, like, I feel like everybody has their thing. Because I remember when I was single, Child, I read Steve Harvey, Devon, and I
And
read all the books on how to get a husband, because I told you I wanted to be married. I wasn't trying to be cute, like, oh, I'm independent, this and that. I want a husband. And if you wrote a book on how to get a husband, I'm reading it and I'm listening to the audio book. So those things would kind of, tell you, like, you need to do these things, and you need to
cook that dinner and cook a meal.
Yeah, you need to be this whole woman, and he needs to show you, and this and that. In the real world, like, it doesn't always line up like that. And something that I may be willing to deal with, put up with, except the next woman might not.
Right.
And let's say she go out with the dude, and he like, I ain't got no money, and she's like, okay, well, Keisha did it, and she got her a husband, so let me be okay. And then it don't work out.
Right.
So,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So for me, it was the ambition that attracted me.
Right.
To him.
And that takes maturity on both sides. So that takes literally maturity for him to be able to say, this is what it is. We might want the same things, but this is where I'm at. So make your choice. And then it's also maturity on your side to be like, you know what? I respect this grown man saying this to me, and I'm gonna see what he about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said that y'all met online.
We did.
So tell me about that. Like, tell me about your online journey, because me and my fiance met online, and I'm big for online dating. Like, what was your experience like?
So at first, like, I think, like, some people are still today, like, I felt like it was taboo. It was embarrassing. Yeah. It was like, what's wrong with you to where you have to go online because,
right.
COVID wasn't happening. So, outside was outside. Right. It wasn't like, I'm a very social person. So I was always on the scene at events around people. So I couldn't use the excuse like, well, I'm always working or I'm traveling. Yeah. Like, I was around, I was out there.
Right.
But I just wasn't meeting anybody. So I was like, well, let me see what's online. And I was on all the sites. From Tinder to Hinge. I was on all the sites. And I met him on Bumble, where the woman got to holler first.
Yes. See, that's the one. I was on all the sites too, because I know what I want, and I'm gonna be spread out getting, that sounds horrible, spread out. I'm gonna be spread through all the sites doing what I want, whatever. I didn't like Bumble. I tried that for like 1 or 2 days, and I didn't like that one.
See, this might be controversial.
Yeah.
I don't believe in hollering at me, and I ain't about to.
Me either.
And that was the premise. So what I would do is just match with somebody, and to open a conversation, a woman has to start. I would literally be like, hi. Wow. And then you take it from there. So
that's right. Work the system.
Yeah. So to him, I said hi.
Yeah.
And he took it from there.
Wow.
And we talked, and we didn't meet for 3 months. I was going through one of the most stressful times at work, and he was traveling for work. And like, anybody knows me, like, he works in IT. I'm not techie at all. I'm like somebody's grandma. Yeah. So I was having to build like this complex project or whatever. And I was working from like, I would get to the office at 5 a.m. I wouldn't leave to 10 at night. And he would be on the phone with me while he was driving to DC for work, like walking me through.
Before I even met.
Before we met, we did this like for 3 months. We were supposed to meet, then something would happen.
That's right.
But like, he got me through that.
Wow.
And then we met like 3 months later. Let him tell it. I ghosted him after the first date, but he kept following me. I got into another relationship. He kept following me on social media. And one day I left work early, went to the movies. Nobody was in there. It was like 1 o'clock or whatever.
By yourself?
By myself.
Wow.
I hate doing things alone. So I just went to the movie because I was reading a book, and they was like, if you're going through a breakup, do things alone to have this independence. So I went to the movies by myself, and I remember I posted a story, and I was like, haters gonna say I ain't rent the theater out for myself.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, social as she is, and she was always with her boyfriend, I think she's single. Wow. So then he hopped in my DMs. He was like, because if other people see her, if I see her, other people gonna see her. So let me be the first in line.
Right.
And then he jumped in my inbox. He had a date planned. We went on that first date. He informed me that I was his girlfriend a week later. Informed me. We went on a date, kicked it or whatever, talked on the phone every day afterward. And at the time I was working uptown, I was going in, he was working from home. And he was like, every Tuesday, I'll come uptown, we'll go to Romeo Bearden Park, and we'll have lunch.
Every Tuesday.
And so he came that first Tuesday or whatever, and he had a rose and a card. And the card said, happy week anniversary. And I was like, we go together?
Take notes, Jason.
And he was like, yeah, I mean.
We go together.
He was like, we've been talking every day. You ain't got nothing going on. I got nothing going on. He was like,
I love
yeah.
it.
And I was like, okay, I got a boyfriend.
What?
And have been together ever since.
So y'all didn't talk for 3 months. Then y'all went from not talking for 3 months to now going on a weekly date and now being together.
No, we went from meeting online in 2018.
Okay.
Talking for 3 months on the phone. After the 3 months, went on a date. Mm-hmm. I ghosted him after the date and got a boyfriend. And then a year from our first date. Why did you ghost him? Because he told me that him and his ex-wife were still living together for financial reasons. And I don't play those type of games.
No, ma'am.
And so I was like, you could have told me this 3 months ago. Thanks for the help with the work or whatever, but enjoy your life, sir. And so so I got into a relationship or whatever, and a year later, he hit me up.
So he he saw what he wanted, and he stayed the course.
Yeah, he really did. And he would tell anybody.
I respect that. It's so funny because I see him in your pictures and stuff like that, and he seems like he was kind of like a quiet guy. So is he like more quiet, or is he more like, I guess outgoing?
It's so crazy. Andre and my family will tell you, like, Andre would probably say 3 words to people that he met. Like, he'll answer the question that you asked, but other than that, like, he wouldn't engage. He really didn't like, he's an only child. So he really, just wasn't around people. Worked in IT, worked from home. But now, like, he is, like, he's still a man of few words, but he's very social now. Like, if we haven't had a party or a get together at the house in like a couple months, he'd be like, Keisha, like, when you inviting some people over?
I know, that's right. Elevating.
He's in a basketball league, and like he hangs out with the guys. Like, he's so much more social than when I first met him.
Is that because of you think?
Oh, definitely. That is definitely because of me. I thought, initially we both thought that we would end up annoying each other as much as we liked each other. Because I'm like, I'm social. Like, I can't sit in the house. Like, I can't just not be doing nothing. I have to have something on my calendar. Yeah. I have to have something to look forward to. And like, he can just chill and like binge watch Netflix. Like, I rarely watch TV because I be having stuff to do. Yeah. And it just balances.
Wow. That is so me. Like, I like to go, 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 go. And then Jason, and again, these are so single women. Listen to what is being said in this show, because you're saying so many things that I feel like a lot of single women would like see certain things and be like, I block you or I X you out. And then they'll be single 10 years later and 5 years later because they're not thinking strategically, you know what I'm saying? And not thinking smart. But like with me and Jason, I feel like I'm very, very outgoing. He kind of wasn't, but now he is the same way. Like, he's like, invite people over. Now, he ain't never had nobody over, ever. He ain't never had a party. He never hosted a party. He never did none of that stuff. But now that I've kind of introduced him to those type of things, now he want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
So it's like, you really can't, I guess, like, judge a book by its cover, because a lot of men, everybody isn't for everybody. So like if your husband has been married before or dated people before or mine or whatever, it's like certain women bring out certain things in men. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that. So you talked about, meeting online and being like, I want to be married. That's my goal. That's what I'm going to do. So do you feel like you manifested your now husband?
Manifested like marriage or Andre specifically?
Both.
Definitely marriage.
Okay.
I was like, I want to be married. Like, I am a wife. Y'all not gonna shame me to be like, well, this is that now. I just like anything else, because it was so crazy. If I would say, oh, I'm getting ready to start another business, or my goal is to own 10 properties by the end of the year, right, or I want to be a multi-millionaire, people would be like, oh my God, you're so ambitious. Like, but if I was like, I want to be married, girl, you don't need no husband. Why are you focusing on a man? I'm like, that's a goal or something that I want for my life, like anything else. So I definitely manifested the marriage. Okay. Andre, I don't think I did. I manifested the type of person, like, I want a man who loves me, unconditionally, who supports me, who is this, who loves my kids, who I can just be 1,000% myself for. But if it weren't for like God putting him in front of me, I probably wouldn't be like, man, like, he boring, he quiet, he, I would have thought that we were so different that I probably wouldn't have even like thought
Look
twice.
Wow.
Yeah. Like we were just so different. Yeah.
What kind of like, okay, single women listen up, or people in general listen up. So manifesting. So how did you manifest? Like what type of tools? Do you do vision boards, lists, sticky notes? Like how did you manifest?
So I was like, again, work was crazy. I was going on all these dates that went nowhere or whatever. Yeah, so I was just like depressed, just going through a lot. And I would just take like mental vacations during the day and like sit back and like imagine your life. And I would literally like, like I woke up and my husband slapped me on the butt and I was like, and then I went downstairs. Like I would literally, and that would like change my mood. And then I'm big on journaling because a lot of times, like when people say you forget where you came from, a lot of times, like when you so happy or whatever, like, and someone else is where you used to be, you kind of become judgy. Like, girl, you crying over a man or this, and that. But like, no, sis, you was crying over a man too. So I would just like write in my journal, or, in my journal, I would talk to myself and I would say, in 2025, come back to this page with your husband and y'all gonna read about it and y'all gonna laugh. So like I would write like prompts like that.
Repeat that again for the people in the back. I'm gonna try that just for things in my life now. Like I've never even thought about doing that.
Yeah. So now me and Andre like that it's called the Holy Journal. I think I found it at like Target or something. And it's like shaped and looks like a Bible or whatever, because I was like, these are the things, just as much as I believe in the Bible. Yeah. That's how much I believe in these things that I'm writing in here. And as things would happen or whatever, like I would come back. I remember it may have been a podcast I was listening to. But the person was saying every day, wake up and say, I'm one day closer to meeting my husband. I'm one day closer. Because one day you're going to meet him the next day.
Right.
And so I would always just say that. And sometimes like I felt like things were silly. And then there were times like I literally needed that mental break. And I would just go in the bathroom and would just be sitting on the toilet like,
what?
I'm going to wake up and, then the kids going to come home from school. Right. And then me and my husband going to be like, it's date night and we going to give each other a kiss. And the kids going to be like, ew. And like vividly, not just, I want a house and a husband who treats me well. Like it was like intentional. I would imagine, what my hair and my makeup looked like. Like literally everything. Like I could see it. And like I said earlier, like I like to bring things from my head to the real world, whether it's like planning and, being on the board and helping this and that. I did the same thing for my life. Like,
wow.
If I can see it in my head, like,
it can be real.
Yeah, why not?
So I feel like I'm talking to the thoughts that have been in my head for the past 10 years. Like you literally have no idea. What I respect about what you're saying is that you're not just starting at where your fairy tale began. Right. You're actually talking about the road to it. And this is what I really do hate. I hate when women, get married, have what they want, have the, their fairy tale, and they don't tell the story to get there. You know what I'm saying? Women need to hear how you got there. The depressing times, the times you was in the bathroom crying, the times you were sad. Those times, you had to go through that and kind of stay the course to get to what you want. So like if you was talking to Keisha back when she was having a hard time, or even the single ladies out here, like what would you tell them when they're having those? Because I have been there. Like I have been there, I'm not ashamed. I always wanted to be married. I always wanted to make sure that I had my man, because I had been married before. Right. And that did not go well. I mean, we got married young. We just were not equally yoked. I think getting married young is never a good idea, but that's just my opinion. But then leaving a marriage and then getting back into the dating world. I had a child. I'm divorced now and I'm having to navigate that. And I want to be a wife. And I had some really, really, really like dark times. And I talk about it because people might look at my situation and think, it's good. But I've had dark times and people don't talk about that. Like how was that? Like your dark times, how did you stay motivated? Like how did you stay the course?
I wasn't motivated and I didn't stay the course. Like I literally just kept waking up every day. Like I wasn't doing anything. Like I'm going to be more positive. Like, even when I would have those mental breaks or whatever, like, I'm crying during the middle break. Or, you know, all of my friends, like, if I tried to live my life right now and stunt, like, I always had it and don't let a man break you, my friends would be like, girl, Keisha, you better stop playing because you was laying on my couch. You was calling me. I was calling anybody that I could. Like, why not me? Why everybody get married in my face? Everybody, girls that don't even want to be married, they just finding they Prince Charming, and I want to be, like, I was sad. I was wallowing in pity. I was upset. So I don't think there's, of course, you know, the mental health things or whatever you can do or whatever, but I don't think there's like any surefire way to get out of it because it's just the passage of time. And my mom would always tell me, she was like, Keisha, it's about time. And like, it's not your time. It's not your time or whatever.
I hate to hear those type of things.
Yeah.
Girl.
And I'm just like,
but it's true.
And there's nothing you can do but continue living.
Right.
And I wish I had better advice than that because it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I'm so grateful, like in my time, because me being ambitious, I would always feel like if I was happy or took time to sit where I am, that I was being complacent because I didn't have something else that I was working on. Yeah. This is the first time in my life that I'm like, of course I have goals and things or whatever, but I'm happy because this is what I prayed, cried, complained about, and like, it's here. Like, these are literally the days that I dreamed about. So like, I'm going to sit in this and I'm happy. I am freaking happy.
Oh my God.
And I'm not on to the next thing. Like, all right, I'm married. You know, a lot of people are like, okay, I got the ring or whatever, the wedding, all of the big festivities are over or whatever. So now it's back to real life. Like every day, like sometimes Andre would be asleep and I'd just be looking like a little serial killer, just staring at him. Because I'm like, this is my husband, like the one that I manifested, like I can reach out and touch him.
Oh my God.
Like, why are you looking at me like that? And I'm like, I don't know. But
I bet he eats that up, don't he?
He be trying to act like he does.
Girl, I feel so bad because I don't be doing it. I feel like I manifested. Like I'm so like hearing you talk. You have no idea. My friends are gonna listen to this and be like, "Girl, she did exactly what you did," and she was saying it. She was saying, "Listen, it was a point where I'm like, everybody around me is finding their one. Yep. And I'm not. And I'm like, people who looking busted and people who, you know what I'm saying, who don't got no personality and just, just a mess are like getting married. And it's like, I'm not. And honestly, looking back on it, one major thing that I realized is that, and this is no shade because it could be any of us at any time, but a lot of those people who I looked at like, dang, why them? It wasn't what I thought it was, you know what I'm saying? And they had, kind of bad situations, which, that could be any of us at any time, but you can't be comparing yourself. And I used to do that often. Like, what does she got that I don't have? Or how is this happening for this person and it's not happening for me? And again, those are like the conversations that people need to hear because people see where you at, but they don't know what it took for you to get there. Like I used to have some depressing times, and thank God for my friends and my support system, because especially when everybody it was a point where all my friends were like married and I'm just out here dating and I'm dating like some losers and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, what is this? And I would be in very depressed states for like a long period of time, you know what I'm saying? And not long, but to me a couple of days is a long time to be sad. And then I would be eating and just be like so depressed, you know what I'm saying? But I stayed the course and I believed. And I think that's the key. No matter what, no matter how many bad days I had, I never thought that it wouldn't be me. Okay. I knew for sure that it would be me, but it was just the days where I just had low days. I was just like, man, this is horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really, hard. Really bad. Really, really bad. Okay. So you have kids and your now husband have kids. Mm-hmm. So what is that like? Like double question. So what is co-parenting like, number one? And then number two, dating a man with kids, like any type of hesitation did you have with that? Or like how was that for you?
So co-parenting is, it all depends on the situation and the relationships, and co-parenting, the relationships, can change and it depends on the children. My son's father, Kellen, is 15. Mm-hmm. So, we haven't been together for a long time. So we've been Kellen's parents longer than we were ever in a relationship. So, you know, we tag team. Yeah. And so when Andre and I got together, you know, they met and everything was cool. And Kellen's dad told Andre, like, you the one in the house with him every day. Like, you got my full permission to do what you need to do if the boy get to act it up. So Kellen loves it. Like, they are, like, they'll call and talk to each other on the phone. So anytime, like, we have parties and stuff at the house, like, him and his girlfriend come.
Wait. So your ex-husband...
Ex-fiance. Yeah.
Hangs out or comes over to your parties with your now husband?
Him and his girlfriend were at our engagement party. His mom and auntie flew in for his engagement party. So his daughter... which is my son's sister, is close to my daughter's age. So the two of them say they're sisters. So when she comes to visit, because Kellen's dad lives here. Yeah. So when she comes to visit him for the summer, she'll stay at the house for like a week. And then when Kellen goes to visit him and his family and they're in town, my daughter will go with him because we're like, what? You know, we don't do that. Like, oh, that's my kid. That's your kid. Like, these are all Kellen's siblings. So, you know, for him... I think co-parenting works if you keep the kids at the front of it. Like, how amazing is that for Kellen to have all his siblings in the same place? Yeah. Or, you know, all of his parents in the same room dancing, embarrassing him. Wow. You know, at the games, all his friends, you know,
that is so healthy.
His dad, his stepdad, like you know, and people see that. Yeah. But that's not always the reality because we got other, you know, parents in the mix and the relationship is not the same. Yeah. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but I'm glad that we are able to show our kids, our children, like, you know, we about y'all. What we beefing for?
Dang, that's so good. I know you was talking like earlier before, but like, you know, blending those families and kind of getting used to saying like all of our kids, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something kind of different. But I think it's like, you're right. Like putting the kids, you know, in the forefront, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the main thing. Yeah.
Because I feel like even, you know, when exes break up, if a person can separate, you may have been a bad husband or a wife, but you a good parent. And I appreciate that. Like, I don't mess with you personally, but you a good parent. And
I don't mess with you personally.
On any level. Right. I don't mess with you. But, you know, you are a good parent. And like my kid is much more important than any beef. Right. You know, that I have or whatever. So I wish that more people were able to do that because seeing it and seeing how much the kids benefit from it and love it is just like next level.
It's rewarding. Yeah. I'm sure it's rewarding.
And the fact that it's their normal, like, you know, everyone else, adults, you know, we know what's up with co-parenting and stuff like that. But for the kids, you know, Carson is just like, yeah, like that's my sister. Wow. Yeah, and my thing is like I would never beef or not like any woman that my ex-husband or Kellen's dad because I'm like it's better for me to have a good relationship with a person that is going to have a hand in raising my son. Right. Because I don't know this person personally. I don't want you to have a vendetta against me and you take that out on my child. Yes. So even if, you know, I would say you ain't gonna play in my face, but you know, as long as you're respectful, like I would love it, you know, if we could have a relationship, but like, we don't have to be friends, but I'm always going to lead with respect and wanting to get to know her. Right. Because it's never about the dude or whatever. Like if I want to be with him, I still would be. So that's period. Yeah. So that's beyond. So it's not about the relationship. So like I just want to get to know you. I'm not trying to question you or whatever. And as long as we have, you know, an understanding, like you're not going to put your hands on my child. I wouldn't put my hands on anybody else. But
so you wouldn't let. So like, okay, so putting your hands on a child. So if you had like, especially like a younger child, you wouldn't want your, I guess, ex-husband's new wife to like spank or anything with your child?
Because I don't even spank my kids.
Okay. Yeah.
And to me, that's just like a boundary or what do people say, a ick to that? You know, because like something that I might think is disrespectful or you deserve a whooping for, you know, maybe she doesn't. And maybe it's something that she thinks is super serious that I would let slide. Yeah. So, and me, you know, being a step parent, I'm very mindful of that too. Like, you know, they had a way of being raised and parented before I came in the picture. So for me to just come and impose my way of life and the way that I raise my children, you know, can just be like, oh, whoa, I'm in trouble for this? Yeah, so, that's true. Yeah, you have to be mindful of that, like when you're dating people with kids.
So dating people with kids. So like, was that ever just a no for you? And like, what do you say to women? Because a lot of women say, if a man has kids, I'm not dating him. Like, has that ever been a thing for you?
So let me be clear, ladies. If you don't want to date or you don't prefer to date a man with kids, don't. Because a lot of times people will say like, oh, I see Keisha and being a Brady Bunch. Like, maybe I do need to date. Yeah. Or, you know, people will tell you like, well, girl, the older you get, the closer you get to 40 or whatever, like, you ain't gonna meet too many men that don't have kids. Like, you gonna be single. So in essence, that's like telling you to settle for something you don't want. Because if you like, you know, I don't want to date a man that does drugs, or I don't want to, nobody would be like, girl, you get older, all them men be on crack. Like, nobody's going to say that. So when it comes to things, you know.
Not crack, though. You skill weed and went straight to crack.
That's the first thing that came. Like, nobody's going to say that. But when you're like, you know, I don't want a man, you know, that has kids. Well, good luck, girl. I thought you wanted a husband. And I'm like, no, because to me, that's settling. I think when people think about settling is if I want a tall man, I'm dating a short man. Yeah. Or, you know, if I want a man that's making money, I date a broke man. That's settling. No, if you settling to me is going for or accepting anything that you don't want because you feel like either you're running out of time or there's nothing else out there. So if you don't want to date men with kids, it's plenty of single men out here that don't have kids.
That's interesting. Let me absorb what you just said, because you don't think, and I'm not saying I do, but a lot of people do. You don't think that women or men, because I hate that whole women is only women. Yeah. Get to a point where you need to dumb down your list. Maybe not settle, but like dumb down your list. Like you wouldn't advise somebody of that. Like, okay, a woman is 43, I don't know, whatever age. Yeah. And she wants a husband. And, you know, her whole thing has been, I don't want to date someone that has, you know, 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever, or like, or 1 kid. You don't think that it comes to a point where women should kind of dumb down her list?
Not on things like that. Like, if it's like, his beard got to be filled in all places and, you know, it got to be thick and luscious, like those like trivial things. Yeah. But like, dating a man with kids, like that changes, like that impacts so many places in your life, like your money or whatever. Like if he's paying child support or an emergency come up or whatever and y'all married, that's your money. Yeah. That's y'all money. You know, things with exes happen. Yeah. Or I read somewhere, or maybe it was a podcast I was listening to, where a woman was dating a guy and like she didn't want guys with kids. He had 3 kids, but they lived with their mom. Okay. The mom passed away. And overnight, she went from living in the house with just her and her man to 3 kids. So even in situations like that, if you didn't want a man with kids, like... You don't date a man with kids because, you know, the situation or circumstances that you meet him with today could change. Yeah. Even if, you know, he has a 3-year-old today and you love her and she's so sweet, she becomes a teenager and, you know, she treating you like the evil stepmom and y'all go through all of those things or whatever. So, yeah, I would say, you know, for me, like I'm tall, I'm 6 feet tall. I never thought I would meet a man that was 6'10", you know, but for me to be
would you have dated a shorter man?
Oh, I have. I can't lie. My friends would call me, out.
But hold on, wait. You look at Jason. Listen, so you didn't have a preference? Okay, so I'm sure you had a preference, but you were open to dating like shorter men?
It was bad out here.
Girl, now.
But that's to me, that's more of a superficial thing than kids.
Okay, that's true.
Because I'm okay, I would prefer you to be, you know, 6'8" or whatever. Yeah. But if let's say I'm scrolling for 3 weeks online and I'm out in the streets and the tallest guy I meet is 6'3", I can hold out to meet that 6'8" guy, or I can be like, you know what, you know, like let me get this guy to 6. I ain't gotta wear my 5 inches. Right. You know, so I remember when I got engaged to one of my friends, she was like, girl, she was like, I'm so happy you got that short spirit off of you. She was like, because I didn't want that for you, Keisha. It's like, I didn't want it for Keisha, but it was bad. So things like that.
Was that on your list when you were manifesting? Like, was that a big thing to like a man who was like extra tall?
Yeah, I went back and forth because at times like I would put the height and I'd be like, yeah, I want a man that's like 6'8",
girl,
and then I would be like, no, let me put it to like
yes.
6'3", you know. But then I would think like God has done like all these big things for me, and like I'm afraid to ask for 7 more inches. I'm like, that's crazy.
Height, guys, height.
So I was like, you know what? But never in my wildest dream did I expect that I would meet anybody 6'10", because guys, you know, lie on the sites or whatever. You put that you 6'3" and you show up 5'9.7".
Oh my God.
So when Andre
That
said
was
he was
important.
6'10", I was just like, he lying. He probably 6'2".
lying?
He's 6'2". So I was like, and I'm gonna wear some heels, and I better not be taller than him. And I showed up in like 4-inch heels, and I was like, Zay.
Oh my God.
I was like, you really 6'10"?
Wow.
And I was just like, had I limited myself, like I don't think,
So what if Andre? So would you seriously? Because I'm tall, like I'm 5'10", and that was a thing for me. Like, and my brothers would get mad at me, like, why do you care about people's height? That don't matter. But that mattered to me. You know what I'm saying? My first husband was like 5'10". You know what I'm saying? And I listen, I didn't know no better. I wasn't wearing a lot of heels at that time, but I don't ever not wear a heel now. And it's like, I would hate to be going out with him wearing flats all the time. And my brothers used to argue with me like, that's so superficial, but that's what I preferred. But people, especially online dating, men often lied about their heights.
Yes.
And I used to like hate that. But it was so important to me that after my first husband, listen, I don't ever want to be somewhere with a bunch of flats in my closet, because you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like, again, being 5'10", it wasn't my preference to date somebody who wasn't, my thing was 6'2" and up.
Okay.
6'2" and up. But that was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard.
And then, like, Andre, like, I cannot talk enough about my husband. My husband. Andre is a unicorn, because most tall guys that I would meet like short women. They like itty bitty women. Andre is one, if not the only tall man that preferred tall women. He said he only dated women that was like 5'10" or taller.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, that's uncomfortable to me. I don't like the way it looked, but most
That's
men.
what Jason said. That's so interesting.
Yeah, that I would meet that were like 6'4", 6'5", they would like women that were like 5'3".
Huh.
But short men like tall women. They would be like, "Oh, I can climb that tree," and it doesn't, it don't bother me. And I'm like, but it bothers me.
It bothers me, sir. So
Real
nice meeting you. That's so funny, because Jason's the same way. Like, he's obsessed with tall women. Like, he's obsessed with tall. So I said when she walking in the door, I know he'll be looking like, hold up now, like, nigga, sit down. But like, that was a thing for me. Like, and that. To me, I was on my vision board and on my list, like, okay, maybe I can say 6'1". Maybe I can say 6 feet. But like, I did not want nobody who was like under 6'2", preferably 6'4". You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that was my, like, 6'4" was like a dream, like a wish. You know what I'm saying? But at least 6'2", because honestly, if you're 6'2", you're probably not really 6'2".
Right.
And you're probably lying about it. You know what I'm saying? So that was important. That was like really important for me.
Yeah,
you know?
it was important to me. Like, I didn't feel. I wasn't me. I wasn't able to wear my heels and be like, you know. So yeah.
So okay. So do you guys share passwords?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, we rarely use. I've never like gone into his phone, but like our faces, like the Face ID in each other's phone.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've
that
always
is everything.
Yeah, we've always been like that, but I've never had a reason or I just know it.
So now you make me feel really bad because because this is something that ever since you said it's been on my mind sitting here. So like, you saying that you manifested your life now, and you're like, it seems like you're still so grateful, like, even though y'all been married for a while, been together for a while, and you've had your I'm saying dream life for a while, you still wake up and like be like, oh my God, this is my life. I don't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I feel really bad. Like, I feel really bad about that.
No, you shouldn't. But for me, because when I was going through it, I would wake up and be like, every day, like, man, this is my life. Wow. And so I'm like, the audacity to be living the life that I wanted. God. But I think a lot of times, like, we are I don't know, conditioned or made to feel like you're bragging or being over the top or talking or telling too much. Like, if you're happy about something. And for me, like, I'm just transparent because I feel like we all go through the same things. Like, you know how sometimes you'll see a meme on the shade room and they're like, yeah, growing up, and we be like, how are we all the same person? Yeah. Like, I feel like we all go through the same thing. So nothing that I can talk about, like getting ghosted or, you know, going on these dates and all these things are nothing that no one else has not gone through. So I'm like, I'm not embarrassed about it. And so I would talk to my friends, really anybody who would listen about like the bad stuff. And some of my friends would be like, you telling your business and this and that. Like, I'm a person, like, it's helping somebody, though. I just live out loud, like being embarrassed and shrinking and stuff. So why not when I'm happy to be like, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm real happy.
That is like my testimony. That has, if don't nothing else today, that has really helped me today. Like, seriously, hearing you say that, like, for real, that's helped me. It's gonna help Jason later on tonight.
Hey.
You know what's going on.
And I feel like the more you talk about something, the more of it you bring into your life. So when I was depressed and going through it, I would I would call a friend and we'd talk for 3 hours. I'll call another friend, talk for another 3 hours. I was bringing more of it into my life. And so now that, like, I'm super happy, I'm like, let me talk about this and bring more. And like I said, like, everything in life is fleeting. So, you know, when you're going through bad times, they be like, bad times don't last always. But a lot of people don't say good times don't last always either. So you need to be happy in those times. Like, rejoice in the negative times because you know that they are for a season and that they'll be over. But also rejoice in the good times because they are temporary as well. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm happy. This. I want to look at my videos, and I hope when y'all see my pictures and stuff, y'all see my soul smiling because I am happy.
Everything, girl. Okay, I got 2 more questions, and I'll let you go. I got 2 more questions. So, and this is important. So, knowing where you came from, knowing where you are now, what tips, like real tips, would you give to the single woman who says, "I want to be married, or at least I want to find my person"? What tips would you give them?
Don't feel embarrassed. Don't be afraid to say it, to speak it. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for wanting what you want because it's not what they want or what they feel you should have. Or someone can look at your life like, girl, you got the career and you pretty and you got a body and this and that. Like, girl, if I was you, this and that, well, child, you're not me. And I want a husband or I want this, I want that. So don't let anybody make you feel bad or minimize what you want or make you feel guilty or make you feel like you're not grateful for what you currently have because you want more. I hate to say it, but everything is just about time. Like, it's always like hindsight is 2020, whatever. And everything in hindsight. So when I look at things like guys that I dated and I thought I wanted to marry or I thought this would be the one, I'm like, had I married him, that would be a disaster.
Could you imagine? Oh, I think about that all the time.
Had I taken control and done things the way I wanted to, like, or I thought I wanted to, like, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I would have had to live those consequences. So there is no easy fix. There's no 1, 2, 3. This is how you get a husband if you do this or do these 3 things, because things come and go out of order. Yes. But out of chronological or logical order, but things will happen in the order that it's supposed to in your life, and you won't realize that until you're on the other side of it, and you like, oh, I see why he ghosted me. Girl. I see why. So just stay.
And those things sound so cliche, don't they? Like, didn't you hate hearing that type of advice when, like, it was you? Like, I'm like, this sounds so, but it's true.
Yeah, like you just have to, like, just keep your eye on what you want and don't let anybody distract you. And regardless of where you are in your life right now, if whatever your goal or what you want, your relationship seems absurd, like the crazier it sounds, like hold on to that. Because for me, that's what made me know that God is real. Because I'm looking at these circumstances in my life, and it ain't no way that Keisha is going to be a suburban mom with this loving husband that ain't worrying about where he at 5 o'clock in the morning, that got the passwords and don't even need to use them. Like,
girl, I ain't using mine. I didn't use any of my little effects tonight.
To me, that was otherworldly. Wow. So the further away from your current situation that your goals and dreams are, like, hold on to that. Because when you get there, you're going to be like, it wasn't nobody else. It wasn't nothing else. Because where I was and to here, It ain't no way.
Girl, I was not thinking this was going to go in this direction. Like, this is so good. Oh, my God. So, last question, because I'm just curious, because this happened to me. So, when you went from, like, single to dating, did you lose any friendships, or, like, did anybody become jealous, or, like, was there, like, I know for me, not a whole lot, but I experienced this a little bit, like, when you go from your single life to your relationship or your married life, sometimes people can, like, drop off or like be jealous or like weird stuff like that. Did you ever experience any of that?
I hear about that with a lot of women, and if we're keeping it real, I was probably that friend to people.
Really?
Like when they got married or in a relationship or whatever, because like it was something I wanted, and again, it was happening for everybody around me. So it was hard for me to constantly, go to weddings and proposals and bridal showers. So I got kind of distant. I'm grateful and blessed that energy wasn't returned to me, because most of my friends were already married or in relationships. So they was like, girl, we can't wait for you to get married. So they were so happy. So when I tell you, like at my engagement party, like my friends were like as happy as me. Like we turned up at the wedding, like all my friends are super happy. And I felt like I was in a weird space for the longest, because my single friends didn't have children. So they lived a certain type of life. And then my friends that did have kids, they were married. So I was kind of like that outlier who wasn't married, but I had kids. So, y'all doing couples game nights, I can't go. But then y'all flying to Vegas for a week. I got kids, I can't go. So I think that kind of magnified my singleness, because I just felt so alone and so different. I couldn't identify with either of these groups. So my married and coupled up friends was waiting for me to join. Like, hey, you on the other side now, girl. You on the other side. So I didn't lose any friends. And I've met, more married women. Since we've been married or whatever. But I know that's a reality for a lot of people. And like I said, keeping it transparent, I've been a part of that on the other side. But I'm, thankful that I have not lost any friendships.
Did you know, because I saw on your Instagram the proposal, like, did you have any idea?
No, but I had a timeline in my mind. And he was just at about the timeline. And I was talking junk to my mom and friends, and I'm like, yeah, we've been together, for so long, which was 2 years, and, all of these things or whatever. And it was our 2-year dating anniversary, and we were going to go, on a date, because he knows, like, that I like to celebrate anniversaries or whatever. And when he proposed, because I had been talking junk to my mom that day, but she was a part of the proposal.
Oh, wow.
And my best friends in Michigan, they FaceTimed in. I have been in our group chat in the DMs, like, don't be calling him bro, because he ain't gonna be around for long. Like, he taking forever. He playing in my face. This is.
Did he know? Did he know you felt that way?
Yeah. It wasn't no secret.
Oh my God.
But he was just calm or whatever. But I was just like, I know my worth and this and that, and I will say. And it's crazy, and I think women do this. Like, I was easier and softer on men who was, like, treating me like hell. Like, who were, like, I was in situationships with, and I was, like, giving them chances and stuff or whatever.
Like that? I
was, like, taking it easy. And, like, Andre, like, one thing I can say about Andre, like, to show me that, like, he was serious about me, in 2020, he bought a home that he and his boys lived in, and I was living in an apartment. But to show me that he had intentions on marrying me, he put me on the deed of the house. So, and he made
wait. What?
And I had never, like, he made me an owner for the first time.
Jason, please come over here and hear this, please, because what?
He put me in a financial position to where, if we had broke up, like when we sold that house that he lived in to buy the house that we live in now, we both had to sign off on the papers, and I saw the amount of the check, that would have had to go to both of us had we broke up. But in retrospect, like, I'm thinking about it, like, this man, like, literally, secured me and my children's generational wealth. Before we were married, and here I am going off like my timeline. I ain't got no ring. You playing with me. God. And even had we not worked out, like, he set me up. And
girl, I I never met him, but I salute him. Wow.
Yeah, that for me, like I know some, women have men that like do things and like this is, nothing to them. For me, like that was he like
I've
stuff
never
like
heard
that
that
didn't
before.
happen. Yeah,
Wow.
that like dudes never like
No.
Yeah, I was always like the breadwinner and like for a man, and he didn't do it in a way where like I'm stunting on you. A house is nothing. He told me, that was a house that he talked about on our first date. That I can't wine you and dine you.
Girl.
But again, everybody's story works out differently, and I'm just thinking about it for the first time now that we're talking about it. What you told me that you were working on to wait for on the first date, I waited, and it ended up becoming ours. And so I always
I'm getting
tell
chills.
him,
I don't know if the window open up. I
always tell him I'm grateful, and and not to knock anybody. I know people are value different things, and like, oh, my man bought me a bag, or
girl, no, home ownership.
Yeah, I'm walking around with an 8-carat ring. Like those things don't mean a lot for me, but like for somebody to like invest in me and my children like that, and for him to know, and he had friends and family like, you sure y'all ain't married? Half of that is hers.
When I tell you, when I get off this podcast, we about to make some paper over here. But that's the ultimate flex.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you'll meet him. Andre is just so different. Like, most people would flex. If I bought somebody's house, I probably would flex on that.
Right.
Anytime they got into an argument or whatever, I'd be like,
my house back.
But who put you on that deed?
Right.
I snatch it. Like, never. We would argue, just like any couple.
Yes.
He never flexed. He never, toward the end of my lease, I didn't want to renew because we knew we were going to move in together or whatever. Me and the children started staying at his house more because we were like, we're getting ready to blend or whatever. He went out and bought like my kids' beds and stuff and made them feel comfortable so that they didn't feel like they were guests like in his home. And so for me, those things that he did was like bigger. Like to me, that showed me who he was as a person. It wasn't about the money. It was just like, you're making this investment in me to show me that you're serious about me. And here I am going off like, if I don't have my ring by this day, then it's over. Not knowing that he had, put him and his children in a situation to where had we broken up and I was bitter and just went rogue, I've never had anything like that happen to me. So
what is his zodiac sign?
He's a Gemini. And I know people don't like Geminis.
No, I love a Gemini. Me and Geminis get along very well. But I was thinking he was like a Cancer or something. But he's a Gemini.
Yeah, he's a Gemini. But that was like that. There were other things, but Jesus. That like really like
there's nothing. I feel like nothing can top putting somebody's name on somebody's house.
Yeah, and I love that he did it for me. But when I'm talking to Kellen, don't you do that for nobody you ain't married.
No,
it worked out for us, right? Baby, don't you do that,
right? That was the ultimate trust. Like to me, that's heavier than a marriage can. That's heavy. That's heavy.
Yes. I mean, I didn't put a dime. Like that was his blood, sweat, and tears. I didn't put a dime into that house. And for him to trust me in that way, and I'm impatient. He's not. And so, he's always like, wait for it. It's about timing, this, and that. So for him, that was making an investment in the relationship. It's like, calm down, girl. I'm going to marry you, but just in due time. And I just wanted things on my time. So Andre does like slow me down and make me appreciate things.
Girl, like, let me tell you something. Listen, I've done, this is my 17th, 18th show, one of those two. And this right here to me is top tier. Like I need, because I've been in the space of like being single and not thinking it's going to happen for me and being in those very dark places. And when I say dark, I mean dark places. People need to hear this. Like people need to hear this story. Like for real. Like I'm just so excited because I didn't even think this was going to go in this direction. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect your transparency. I respect your story. Like, it's everything. People need to hear it. Oh, my God. Listen, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for driving, making this commute in the rain to come to the show, girl. Please tell people where they can find you and find your man because, listen, let me say something. We have hired her man, honey, to be a caterer for an upcoming event that we're having. And when I tell you, I see the food. I see the food on your page, girl, and then I go be going to his page looking at the food. I'm like, I cannot wait. Where can we find you and your man?
So let me shout Andre out. Chef Dre.
Yes.
He is _Dre. No, I don't think it's an underscore. Just Dre Foods. At Dre Foods on Instagram. His page wide open. Mine is to Nakisha Procope. And yeah.
Girl, before we go, girl, like, what can we look forward to with this food, girl? Because what is it like dating a chef? Like, how do you not be getting fed?
Oh, see, I did.
That's why you're not fed.
That's why I'm doing the 75 hard challenge. I think because I'm not a foodie. Like, I love what he cooks, but like, I don't eat a lot. But yeah, he has like opened me and the children up. Like the kids, like they're not kids like that. If we order them pizza, they like, why? Andre didn't cook.
Why?
Like,
What?
they not McDonald's kids. They don't like fast food. Like they'll eat it or whatever.
I need Andre to come on this show.
Yeah, Andre need to get a guy's some tips.
Yes, that's what I was thinking when you were talking. I'm like, Andre need to be on the show. I'll let Jason sit in this seat. I'm gonna tell him that. Cause he need to like tell the guys. He need to get a guy some tips. You know what I'm saying? Cause this is everything. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy about it. But anyway, thank you, Keisha, for being on the show. Let me play the outro music. We are happy to have you here, guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Follow Keisha. Follow her boo at Dre Foods on Instagram. Hire him. Say I sent you. See you guys on the next episode.
Bye.